Hello.
Oh, sorry. What I meant to say was Dr. Danger Dragon Unicorn here.
Thank you. Okay, much better. I didn't have near enough room for my whole title. Okay. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're so good. We're so good.
Wonderful.
Yay.
So today we are talking about a very special book, A Guide to Life, a guide to being here on the planet, a guide to happiness, and a guide to having a body. And we're going to talk about Dr. Dain Heer's book, Body Whispering. A very different book.
Is that how you do it? Right. Okay.
I usually direct it down toward my genitals. Actually, as I think about it, most men would be relatively intelligent to do that, to say that to their penis. Stop trying to make all my decisions for me. Sorry, was that out loud? Okay.
It was
I'm
a whisper.
having an irreverent day.
Oh God, the world would be a different place.
Mm-hmm. True story.
That's great. Well, this is a very special book, and it's just very special to me. I've been just going through it again, and you just give people something that you really can't get anywhere else in Body Whispering. There is such a level of communication and kindness, and like you really give examples about how to be with your body in ways that I just have never seen articulated anywhere else. And so could you kind of just start by talking about how you are this different awareness and show people this different awareness? It's just really different.
Yeah. And thank you for that acknowledgement also, because that's exactly what it is. And it's exactly why I wrote the book, because I, like other people, grew up having a body. And I got a lot of, there's just certain things that are just the way reality appears for us and the way the reality is that most people function with their bodies. And then 23 years ago, I got an explosion in my world when this energetic awareness and energetic way of working with bodies and beings together showed up. Right. And it was an interesting thing to realize, here's the being and here's the body from their point of view and what they're doing with it, but that the body could actually be every bit as potent as the being if we weren't stomping on its head all the time with our judgments, our points of view, and all of our points of view about what is possible with it and how to create it and how we get there, that we bought from the time we were this big. Okay, actually small, like really, really tiny. And so we've grown up sort of, it's kind of like if you grew up in an energetic matrix on a, energetic computer program sort of thing. Sorry, I'm multitasking. Awesome. Thank you. We're doing projects around the house as we always are. And nice. The amazing Estella's like, does this work? I'm like, yes. And it's also, this is an interesting, consciousness works in wonderfully mysterious ways that we don't get cognitively, but this is a great example. Like, knowing that Estella is on this, I know it's going to turn out better than I could do it on my own, number one. But I also know it's going to turn out in the way that actually is going to create more. And to a certain extent, that's not a trust we have ever learned to have with our bodies. And so what most of us have learned to function from is everything that has been past and history with bodies. And when I say past and history, we could look at it as sort of the past and history of our body, this lifetime with our family. But then there's also this thing called DNA that's been passed on since we've had bodies, which we use as a determining but also a limiting factor. And so what this journey is about in body whispering is connecting, is a few things. One is going beyond the idea that we're somehow superior to our bodies and that our judgment of our body is going to create more. And instead going on an energetic exploration of what it really is to have a body, what it really can be, what they're really capable of, and how we can really create them in such a way as to be in communion with them, where there is not only no separation, there's an immense amount of gratitude. And where because even anytime, and the interesting part about it, one of the other reasons I wanted to write the book was because I've had so many conversations with people about their bodies and facilitating classes in the last 23 years. And it became very apparent to me after a very short time how many fixed points of view people had regarding their bodies, regarding the whole idea of having a body, regarding what it was going to take to not only, I was going to say what it was going to take to have a body that they loved, but that wasn't even part of their computation. And that for me it was saddening when I was first aware of it, because I realized that most people believe they can't love their body. And if they do, it's from this weird thing that most people do. What the book shows you is how to actually be that. Because anything you can be is sustainable for your future. And you can be it indefinitely if you're willing to be it. Well, what most people have done is, rather than going to the source and eliminating the judgment and the fixed points of view, what they do is they don't have the tools to do it, which is one of the things Access provides. So they have this thing that's like, this is how I be with my body and I don't like it and blah, 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 all the stuff, right? And what they do is they try to put that over here and replace it with something else that's supposedly a better version, but it's a better system of judgment.
Yeah.
And so eventually this primary system of judgment that they develop, that they think is living with a body, eventually comes back in and takes over, because this thing wasn't this, sorry, I hope everybody's watching. If you're listening to this right now, you really have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. And about 80% of you watching have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but that's okay. It works for me.
Read the book. Read the book.
Read the book. Hello. So rather than replacing an old judgment system with a new judgment system that seems like it has better judgments, this is about eliminating judgment as a valid construct for how to be with our bodies. And the interesting part about that is, what I get more than anything else from the people that have read the book is, wow, I was doing this because I wanted to be different with my body. And I realize in being different with my body, I'm actually being different with me. I'm starting to like me more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely see that as a result of the book. Like, for those of you who are listening to this, like, the book has things in it that, I don't know if it's the way that it's put together so beautifully, but it has things in it that I just hadn't seen. I know it exists other places in Access because you do talk about it, but the way that it's strung together in this book, it's like this offering just doesn't exist anywhere else. Like, it's just a necessity. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think you say also in the book, like, do you know that you're treading a new path? Which I love what you're saying, Julia, because it really is that. I think so often we feel like we should know this, or at this age, I should already be able to change this, or get out of judgment. Sure, I should be out of judgment. Why can't I get out of judgment? And so just that line, like, do you know you're treading a new path, to me just gives you so much permission to get out of self-criticism and self-judgment and actually recognize it's okay to start working this new muscle. It's okay to stumble along the way, and it's okay to actually have this as a whole new language that you're relearning.
That exactly what you're saying. It's okay. And from there, look at how much that changes everything. And that's one of the themes woven throughout the book. It's okay. here you are. We're looking to change something. You don't have the answers. I don't either. I got a lot of questions for you, though.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You're not wrong. And that, without even stating it, after a while becomes part of the theme throughout the whole book, is you're not wrong. And also part of what we go into is the places and spaces where you've been miraculous with your body, or your body has done something miraculous that, because it couldn't be received or perceived by others, you either discount it or invalidate it or assume that there's somehow a wrongness in it. But it's like, if you had no wrongness about any of what you've been with your body, if you had no wrongness about anything you as a being have chosen, then it becomes about, what would I like to choose, not how do I get over this overwhelming sense of wrongness.
Yeah.
And that's when things start to really take off. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive it, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. And for anybody who found this, who's watching, go to theclearingstatement.com and you can have that explained to you in a 24-minute video with me and my friend Simone Melissus.
Awesome.
It's a way of changing shit.
Well, something else that to me has always stuck out in the book is that you speak about every molecule in the universe having consciousness. And that is not ever a way that I thought to think about my body.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, great. I get that. That's amazing. And then my body's this little creature over here that I need to like whip into shape.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the connection? And because that really opens up so much, and it's, in some ways it can be a bit of a jump,
This is also the interesting part, is there are a lot of jumps in that book. But somehow, as you go through, this adds to this, and you're like, oh, they all play together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you get this piece plus this. And I think that's also what Julia's speaking about, which is it's a unique winding of different things together that as you read through it opens up something way bigger than the sum of the parts. And so as far as this particular jump, okay, so it's like you described it so perfectly. My body is a little thing over here, and then there's the universe of consciousness. So which makes you lighter? Okay, one of the fundamental truths in this world, and a tool we use in Access, is what's true for you always makes you lighter. A lie always makes you heavier. So which makes you lighter? That there is consciousness in every molecule of the universe, except your body, whoever you are, or there is consciousness in every molecule of the universe. Think about that one for just, hold on, I'm getting it. Hold on, wait. Okay. So and here's the other interesting way and perspective of how the book works to create the change, which is a presentation and an acknowledgement of what is true that you may never thought of before, but that you as a being know, that you wish somebody else would have put into words. And that for me is all of Access right there. But this, and so Julia, were you going to say something? Because
no, I wasn't.
Just an acknowledgement. Okay.
I was just getting excited.
I know, me too. I'm like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And it's, this book is from many conversations that I've had about bodies over the years in classes, because each time I would have a conversation with somebody about their body would give me an awareness, even if the being wasn't willing to have it at the time. And I'd go, oh, this is how things actually work. And it was just their body being their body, but being willing to not hide any aspect of what is. And so in we're doing is it's like presenting what actually is true that you wish somebody would have put into words before so that you could at least tap into the concept. And then, and that what is true is true. It's not presenting truth like this is the truth and this is not. No. It's presenting what is true. What's true is true for all of us and everything throughout the universe. And I'm not the one coming up with what's true. This is just here, this, like what's true makes you lighter, for example, is true for all of us. So it presents things like that, but also how it relates to the body, how it affects the body, and what is actually possible with our bodies if this is indeed true. So it's like there's this, and then what would it be like to embody this? But also now we present that and people go, and then it's like, okay, and here are many things that you have had that make you not be able to access this. So let's start looking at those and changing those and going on an energetic journey to undo those things. And the end result is, well, the intermediate result, because the end result does not occur at the end of the book. That is just the beginning result that is occurring by the end of the book. And so until you're dead, there is no end result. And then after you're dead, there still is no end result. Well, anyway, I digress. But so the result is that you have presented the space of what is true, which is always an acknowledgement that lights you up and makes you lighter. And then also the looking at, as it relates to bodies and our points of view, and being a healer, which is one of the other big elements in there, which is body whispering, is to then, as you walk through this, it's like, oh, you start to undo things that you didn't even realize you had as points of view that were limiting your ability to be present with your body, limiting your ability to heal your body, limiting your ability to change your body, limiting your ability to enjoy your body, all from this is true. And now let's undo what's not by recognizing that doesn't make us nearly as light as this thing that actually is true.
Yeah.
That was a lot of words. Sorry. Tired
It was,
myself out with that one. I need a Coke.
But do you know what, Dain? This is like, to me, this is like, for me personally, the bread and butter, one of the bread and butter tools of access, like light and heavy, knowing what's true and what's not true. It's like a compass that you can use with everything. And I think you spoke to it so brilliantly just now, talking about how we have these limitations and they are heavy. And so we think we have to deal with that problem and fix it, rather than recognizing that it's our point of view that we're limited, that is the actual thing that we can clear. And that's coming from a completely different place, especially in the world of bodies where there is so much judgment, so much heaviness. And we believe that if something's heavy, it's because there's a problem to fix, rather than looking at it being like, oh, it's heavy because it's untrue.
Yeah.
Well said.
Boom. Very well said. And that also, we go through quite a bit of that, because you have to address, in order to create lasting change, you have to address it, at least on a foundational level, really, or the word just escaped my brain, but you have to address the lies that we have bought to a certain extent, because it's exactly that. When you make a lie true, you get very heavy, but you also can't change it because you've decided this thing is truth. Yeah. Like sugar causes cancer, and, I mean, it's like, well, actually your point of view causes cancer. So if sugar has the ability to, it's only your point of view that lets it do it, like, and these are some of the things that we talk about in the book. And it's also general enough. It uses specific examples of things, but it's general enough because it's not just, oh, I learned this and this and this in the book, and therefore I have this and this and this. No, rather than giving you a fish where you eat for a day, I wanted to teach you to fish. So you could feed yourself for the rest of your life, which is fundamentally changing how you interact with and look at the world through and with your body and what's actually possible and what you're capable of. And as part of that, there's quite a bit in there about being a healer, about not being the effect of this ability that most people don't realize they have, about realizing it's actually okay and appropriate and greater for you in the world for you to charge for what you do, because not only will people receive more and value it more, they'll then actually receive the change, and your world gets contributed to, and you can create more. There's a lot of aspects in this relatively thin book.
Yeah. Well, even with talking about, being a healer, one of the things that I love in that too is there's a line that says something like, hands up, who is a body whisperer? And I think part of that being a healer is actually acknowledging how much we are whispering to bodies, hearing the bodies that are talking, communicating the whole time, whether it's other people or our own. And we just haven't had the tools to even know what it is that's going on or how to handle it.
That, exactly that, because most of us are actually body whisperers. And yet we live in a world in which it's a world of body shouters. It's like, people are trying to shout at their bodies and judgment to get them to change. And yet your body only gives you more of what you judge, which we also talk about in the book. And you start to realize that there's a space that occurs living in communion with your body that starts to make everything in your life more beautiful, but also more present. Like, rather than looking through cloudy lenses, you're actually looking and able to engage with and interact with directly what is, which is an amazing gift. And this idea of being a body whisperer is where you use or utilize and enjoy your body as a source of awareness that it is, and use it and enjoy it to give you information about the world, not suffer the information that you're getting from the world because you don't know what it is and it feels yuck, stuck, and what the fuck, And it does because you're so aware of where people are living in that. And your body tells you, and as you start to whisper more than shout, you start to be able to hear its whispers of communication with you. And that is where your body gets to be a big part of what it's here for, is part of your awareness of awareness unit of the world around you and how to navigate it. And so I was blown away at how much it changes to actually be connected to our bodies in this way and to actually live from that, because it creates a space for living that is so dynamically spacious, different, beautiful, wonderful, joyful, contributory. And you're not alone. Yes, you have a thing with you, or you're with it, or you're together, however, where it's like, oh boy, hello. Like, wow. And I also have to say, we all, me included, have more of that and less of that at different times. But what occurs with this is you read the book, and even if you do one of those readings where you don't ask the questions, you don't put a lot of time, energy, and attention, or you go to do it and you're like, oh, I just don't get anything, I'm blank. You're still doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're still doing it. But what it gives you is a foundation from that point forward, or a platform from that point forward, where you will always return to more presence and more connection. And you start to also recognize that, like, I know a lot of people in the past few weeks have had a lot of body stuff going on. And a lot of them have read the Body Whispering book, and a lot of them are starting to read it again and finding, oh, it's changing this shit that I thought was not changeable, because it's addressing where they are now in the energetics of what they can receive, because our bodies were not designed to live in pain. Our bodies were not designed to suffer. They were designed to thrive, and they have been limited in many ways, all of which we can undo. And
Yeah.
so, but we got to look from a different place if we're going to undo it, which is another part of the invitation in this book.
That is so the gift of the book, because you can be like in so much pain, and it's like when you're in pain, it's like, like I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain. Can somebody help me? I'm in so much pain. And this book, just listening to, Dain reads the audiobook himself. So like just listening to that, reading the book, like even just lightly, as you were saying, it will start to undo. And then you're like,
yeah,
and then the way that the journey is articulated, just like it heals you as you go through it.
And I'm so glad you brought up the thing about this is me in pain. And what it brings up is one of the questions that I don't know if it's specifically this way in the book. It's sort of lightly talked about, but how much are you using the pain to avoid the awareness you don't want to be present with or don't believe you can handle? Because that's the big one. But also, one of the other things that's touched on in the book is that we do what is socially acceptable. In other words, if you have pain, you have a total reason and justification for checking out from people. Or if you're sick, or if you're tired, we use our bodies as a reason and justification. No, that's fine. But like, for example, I had a father who, I say I had a father like I had the chance for more than one. You can have as many mothers as you want, but usually you only get one father. Okay. So anyway, oh no, I guess you could only have one mother too. Okay. Yeah, I had step, but anyway, I had a father, and he would be in bed sometimes for a week at a time with migraines. And it was like everybody had to tiptoe around the house, and you could just feel this black cloud in their bedroom, and it would be like, shh, your dad has a migraine. I'm like, why are we, he has a migraine all the time. Like, what, why are we still modifying our lives for this, right? But he wanted to say F you to the world. He wanted to be able to have a socially justifiable reason to shut the door and let everybody know how wrong they are. And, okay, cool. Interesting choice. But so in looking at that and realizing this is how it works for pain for some people, perhaps many people, looking and realizing that's how it works for people many times, well, you can use that because a lot of people that read the book are doing that in one way or another. And what I say is, look, you can use it if you know it, but pretend. Like, don't go really making your body hurt. Don't go really making your body sick. Don't go really making your body so tired you can't move. Just use the fact that it is socially acceptable that any body problem that's intense enough can get you out of almost anything. And that's funny because people hearing it now, like I've talked about this idea many times in the past, and you could just tell energetically people were like, oh my God, I can't believe, oh my, you're evil, whatever. And it's interesting to have people listen to it now and go, that's pretty smart, And one of the other things I'm noticing is that a lot of things that I've said for 23 years that people looked at me like I had just grown two horns and a tail and was, an alien from some evil planet. Now they're like, that makes so much sense. Thank you for saying this brilliance. Too bad you were never this brilliant before, but I'm so glad you've changed to be brilliant now. I'm like, okay, thank you very much, But every new idea goes first through ridicule and then absolute hatred and fight against, and then it's accepted as truth and what always was. That's where we're starting to get with consciousness in many places. And happy birthday, Asma! Asma! Asma.
Aw, today's live is my birthday present. That's
Yay.
That's wonderful.
Awesome. And somebody else had a body birthday, apparently, too, that I do not see. Yay.
That's awesome.
Happy body birthday. Yay.
Wow. Oh, that was a journey.
Yeah, I like that. See, that's the way the book is too. You read it, you're like, that's a journey. But it's in so many ways, it's such a gentle, beautiful journey.
Very much so.
It's just like it's like the Being You Changing the World books. Like you read it, you just have more of you, but in this case, you have more of your body and your presence with it, which then gives you more of you. So
yep, it's like the book kind of holds you and cradles you while it helps unwind all this abuse and judgment.
Yeah. And I say again, our bodies they have been a receipt point for a huge amount of abuse and judgment. And the funny part is they don't care. They have not made it real and locked it in.
Wow.
It's like it's our points of view that stick us with that, and they can show us how to let it go. So what else is possible?
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Dain.
Thank you. And thank you both. This has been wonderful. And everybody, go get it.
Go get it, guys. And if it's not in your language, start knocking down the door, telling your friends, and let's get this book in every language, because I think that everybody deserves the opportunity to go through the journey that this book is. So how does it get better?
Thank you. Yeah, let's do this thing.
Yeah. And also, can we mention just quickly your body whispering classes? Because you actually facilitate body whispering as a 3-day class all over the world.
Yeah.
What a gift to have an immersion into the energy of the book, and to have these 3 days that will obviously trickle way out into your future, and have conversations in a place where people can talk to you, be with other people, and really dive into body whispering. That's a gift. So do you want to, I just talked about it, but do you want to say anything else about it?
Well, it amazes me how much our bodies show us about where our beings are being limited, and the possibilities beyond it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a body whispering class, and we change so many things with how we be with our bodies. Like we acknowledge this particular time and space together is like, well, imagine 3 days with people exploring this particular topic who have some access consciousness prereqs, like where, in other words, they're willing to go on a really beautiful level. And it's one of my favorite classes to facilitate. It's one of the greatest gifts of facilitating. And I just got a note. The next one is in Paris, October 28th through the 30th.
Paris.
Oui, baby.
Oui.
You can also do it online. So, but it's like the book itself. I cannot describe in words, in a sentence or two, how dynamically transformative the space is that our bodies are able to invite us to be now. And now is the space for something way different. We know it, our bodies know it. And my sense is our bodies are actually stepping into the ability to have the power that they actually always could have had we not been getting in the way. So I'm truly looking forward to what else is possible, because it's an element of every element of magic and miraculousness we have relates to our bodies. So let's open that up.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
There's nothing better than being like congruent and with your body, because that's where ecstasy, like that's where consciousness can start to show up. It's the greatest invitation.
Yep. The greatest invitation nobody wants. It's awesome.
Well, it comes with a lot of power, so I can see why nobody wants it.
True story. Oh, thank you, ladies. This has been wonderful.
Thank you so much, Dain.
And I'm looking forward to listening to Miss Susanna next. So I'm just giving a little heads up that Miss Susanna's coming. She's wonderful.
She is.
Yeah. Thanks.
She is. Thank you so much, Dain.